This video is about reading exam tips, how to approach an exam. Let's have a look at the common mistakes that learners make on their reading exam. So what mistakes are common? Not reading the questions properly is one. Not giving the required number of answers is another one. Not using the right document. Not using a specified part of a document to find some information. Not using the right method to compare. Not using reference materials as requested. And lastly, confusing facts and opinions. So what we're going to do is looking at each one of these points in more detail. Let's start with our first point, not reading the questions properly. You need to read the question in its entirety before you answer it. That is very important. Let's have a look here at an example question. Apart from formal language, identify 2 language techniques used in document 1 to convince the reader the information and advice is trustworthy. Underline here, apart from formal language. That means that you cannot or should not give formal language as your answer. If you do, you lose a mark. Let's have another look at another one. What are 3 bias statements that Colin gives in his comment? In that question, you had to look at a comment that Colin gave. So no need to look at any other comments, just find Colin's comment and then give the biased statements. Giving a biased statement from anyone else will not give you a mark. Our next point is not giving the required number of answers. Some learners have lost marks because they have not given enough answers. For example, they give only 1 answer when they were required to give 2 answers. You know how many answers to give because you are given the available mark for each question every time. There is 1 mark per answer, so a question worth 2 marks requires 2 answers. Sometimes the question tells you the number of answers to give. And with multiple choice questions, it is specified how many answers to tick. So let's have a look at some examples. Here we've got how will the council turn Husband Castle into a world-class destination? Give 2 answers. Here you know you need to give 2 answers specified within the question, and you know the answer is worth 2 marks, so 2 answers to give. Another one, select 2 opinions from the following statements. So again, it's highlighted within the question that you have to give 2 opinions, and it also specified just under the question, tick 2. That's for a multiple choice question. And the question is worth 2 marks. So give 2 answers. Please keep in mind that giving more answers than required is not necessary, because any extra answers will be disregarded, i.e., they will not be marked. So if you give 4 answers for a question worth 2 marks, for a question that is only required 2 answers, what the marker will do is marking the first 2, and that's it. The marker will not look at any other extra answers. So no need to give more than what is requested. Our next point is not using the right document. All exams have 2 documents for you to use, for City and Guilds. If you are doing your exam with Open Awards or Skills First, you have to use 3 documents. But let's have a look at City and Guilds. A common mistake is to use the wrong document. The question specifies which document to use. if you have to use document 1 or document 2 or both documents. So ensure that you use the right document or documents. Let's have a look at some examples. Question 1 to 6 are about document 1. Make sure you refer to document 1 when answering these questions. So from the start, it is specified here which document for you to use. Questions 14 and 15 are about both document 1 and document 2. Make sure you refer to both documents when answering these questions. Here again, it is very much highlighted what documents for you to use. Our next part is not using a specified part of a document to find some information. Some questions require that you read a specific part of the document. Getting an answer from a different part of the document will not get you a mark. What do I mean by that? Let's have a look at an example. Look at the section headed Legal Matters. In that document, there are different sections. One of them is called Legal Matters. That means that you just look at the document, find the heading Legal Matters, and find the information you need in that section Legal Matters, and in no other headings. Give 3 words or phrases that are opinions from the first paragraph of document 1. So if you look at any other paragraphs, you will not get a mark. Even though you find an opinion in paragraph 2 or in paragraph 3, you will not get a mark because you have to find the opinion in the first paragraph of document 1. Nowhere else. And our last example, using evidence from the section headed "You can keep your goals manageable." That means, again, find that section "You can keep your goals manageable." Don't look at any other section. Otherwise, you don't get a mark. Our next point is not using the right method to compare. During your lab exam, you will be asked to compare 2 documents. So you need to compare the documents, but there is a certain way to do that. To start with, when you compare, don't forget to state in which document the information is from. And also, when you compare or contrast, use linking words. There is no comparison if the linking word is not there. What do I mean by that? Let's have a look at a simple comparison to start with. In both documents 1 and 2, the 2 authors agree that more and more companies use social media to influence us. So here it is very clear that we've got 2 documents, 1 and 2, and the 2 people who wrote these documents, they agree on the same thing. But what about if they don't agree on the same thing? So here we're going to contrast. In document 1, the author Liz blames youth violence on video games, whereas in document 2, the author Video G33K highlights that there is no evidence that video games make children more violent. Here is very clear where I got this information from. The first one, document 1, and the second one in document 2. And it is clear that I've made a comparison because I linked these 2 sentences with the word whereas. Whereas is one example, but you could give other types of words or phrases, like on the other hand. Our next point is not using reference materials as requested. Some questions require you to find information that is not within the main text, but around it, like tables, charts, footnotes, legends, keys, and so on and so on. For example, here we've got a table. That table is maybe at the bottom of the text, on the side of the text, somewhere else, but it is part of the document. Some questions may ask you to find some information in that table, rather than the main text. This type of information, like sale 20% off, is usually on the side of the main text. And again, some questions may require you to find information from this type of stars, sale information. More and more documents are about websites. And some questions may ask you to find a link from that document, like here, related topics, pollution, David Attenborough, plastic, wildlife. So not all questions will be about the main text. Questions are about the whole document. So some questions may require you to find information within that document, could be on the side or the main text or elsewhere. Our next and last point is confusing facts and opinions. It is very likely that you will get questions on facts and opinions, like finding a fact, finding an opinion, or finding both. Some people do struggle distinguishing facts from opinions, but you really need to be clear about that. Sometimes it is easy to identify an opinion. If it starts with, I think that, or to my mind, then you know straight away it is an opinion. But sometimes an opinion is presented as a fact, but it is not a fact. For example, slim, sleek, space age handset. Here we don't have, I think this is slim, sleek, space age handset. We don't have that, but it is still an opinion. Something with us, you can fail to succeed. That is an opinion. And we are the next big thing, without a doubt. That's probably, I think, we are the next big thing, without a doubt. So that's again an opinion. So do be clear about what a fact is and what an opinion is. We had a look at the common mistakes that some learners make. As a reminder, remember that City and Guilds, you have 2 source documents, and with Skills First and Open Awards, you have 3 documents, and you will be using them. But be sure you use the right document. Dictionaries are allowed for reading exams, and the duration is 1 hour. Bear in mind that you are not marked on your spelling, punctuation, and grammar. As long as we understand your answer, you get the mark. So good luck everyone with your exam. Thank you.